Alright, I think we're approaching a finale. I don't think we're getting a good ending, if there's any good endings in this game. Alright. Something will get to him very soon and he won't figure anything out. This is just a notice, Mr. Harrison. A notice of life termination. This is what happens when you look into the abyss too long. But looking isn't enough, is it? You shine a flashlight into it, you throw stones, whistle frantically like a vandal has managed to get into an abandoned house. You're excited and terrified, and only terror remains as you realise the door is slammed shut behind you and the handles won't budge. This thought made Ethan speed up, and just as abruptly to hit the brakes, the wheels let out a short hysterical shriek. The car swerved and popped onto the side of the road. The blood was pounding in his ears. Ethan's breath came in short gasps, his eyes searching blindly in the dark. For calming down a little, Ethan pretended. Who was he trying to fool? The night road was empty. He was examining his navigator, but there was all but one thought in his head. What was he doing? What the hell is he doing? It seemed like he asked it out loud. There was no one to answer. It was too late to turn back. Turn the car around, go back to the city, to the apartment, lie down on the sofa, sleep until morning comes. In the morning, call Hope again, and that thought was cut short. Actually, it didn't lead anywhere from the very beginning. Dead end. Truth was, he had no reason or place, no place or reason to go back. He wanted to go back to the past, and that task was beyond him or his own Toyota. In the present, he had nothing left but a granite grey road ahead and a decision to go. If he hurried, he might be able to help. At least he's constantly thinking he could change this. But the car took off. The rest of the way, and there wasn't much left, Ethan was thinking about his acquaintance. Were they friends? Probably. You don't take acquaintances for a journey to the bottom of the abyss, do you? Ethan was thinking about his friend and how long he'd been awake in particular. It'd been, Ethan glanced at his phone and opened in the glove box, quite a long time. A month or so, judging by the emails. How long can a person stay awake? The question followed his car silently. Well, I was sleeping like 1 hour at most for a good year, and it did drive me mad, so we'll see how it goes. Ethan drove into the suburbs and turned the car around on Deputy Road. 25 miles per hour speed limit. Road sign at the bend of the road seemed white as old bone. Ethan turned down Sycamore Street. The lawn in front of the house 8 was overgrown with tall grass. So tall it looks like it's not touched for... How long can a person stay awake? Ethan thought it was probably the rainy weather. He didn't remember much of the past week, but he's pretty sure about the rain. Even now the ground was damp and springy underfoot. Yes, it must be the rain. Humidity makes the grass grow faster. When he got out of the car, a shadow detached from the trees near the house. Ethan stiffened and eased a moment later. The figure walked away along the narrow concrete path. Just a passerby. Ethan watched him go. The concrete path beneath his booth gave way to gravel. Ethan walked past a sprawling hemlock covered with rollets of small white flowers. The bush reached up to mid-thigh. All the windows were dim, no lights anywhere. The house stood a little way off, dark and quiet as the night itself. It was almost like the house was slumbering along with its host. And for a moment, Ethan felt stupid and was about to turn back to the car, but he stayed after all. He was invited. Not that, he was called for help. Maybe he and his friend got a little too stressed, that's all. Induced delusional disorder, that's all in its glory. Maybe Ethan was desperate to be needed, so he jumped at the chance to be someone's saviour. Perhaps his unfortunate friend had finally fallen asleep, and disturbing him was a bad decision overall. Well, Ethan was fine with that. He just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Ethan firmly knocked on the door. No one answered. Neither the first time nor the third. No lights came on any of the rooms, no sound behind the door. One of the windows on the second floor was open. Ethan moved away from the porch and tried to take a better look. No movement. The house was asleep. Its sleep resembling torpor. And Ethan came to think he might be dreaming. But if two people shared the same dream, is it any different from reality? And slowly, as if it really was a dream, Ethan went to the flower tub the letter had mentioned and took the spare key from its hiding place. Just as slowly he returned to the door. The key rattled 3 times in the lock, and the door drifted inwards into the darkness. At the top of the stairs leading to the 2nd floor, there sat a cat. Ethan tried to call out to it, but the cat didn't move, still watching with round, bright eyes. Ethan plunged into the darkness of the house. The darkness and the stench, which was one and the same here. The smell, unbearably thick, dense, wrapped the house in a suffocating shroud. Ethan tried not to think where it was coming from. He thought instead of Selene, or rather her dark counterpart, Hecate. The ancient Greeks believe she appears in the form of a dog. But the dogs were sacrificed to her, weren't they? Better turn the light on. It was really better too, but Ethan couldn't gather enough courage to do it. The dogs are natural enemies of cats. Light is a natural enemy of darkness. Life is a natural enemy of death. And what wish could be more natural than wish to destroy your natural enemy? Ethan stumbled over something. He looked down. A hand was peeking out from behind the kitchen counter, blackened and swollen. Of course, Ethan would have seen more if he had a flashlight. Somehow Ethan wasn't surprised. As if it's him, not his friend, who had long ago resigned to his fate. You have received a notice of life termination. It suddenly dawned on him. Madness, curse, and death are contagious. This is not a Dark Age superstition, but an actual law of reality. Selene, Hecate, Artemis, madness, curse, and death. Here lies an accurate answer, as accurate as it gets. The answer has 3 faces, and he himself wished to look into each of them. Ding. Sound of glass breaking in the hallway, but it wasn't a window collapsing. The light bulbs. Someone was smashing the light bulbs with a bat one by one. The sound was getting closer. Ethan closed his eyes. I wonder if the guy went for the fridge, but that's a good night. The sofa there. What was the question again? Ending 6 out of 6. Ghostwriter finished the gig. So, a little weird. Can go to the last choice. You know, we're going to do it. We're not going to interfere this time. Sweat broke out on his upper lip. He even closed his eyes. So, yeah, we interfered. Something came and killed us. We were basically sacrificed or something. No. Ethan said it with firm clarity. All the following words that came out of his mouth were more and more quiet as his lips moved silently. No, I'm sorry. I can't help. I'm so sorry. He really was sorry. Sorry about his former life. Sorry for himself, desperate to the point his stomach clenched with a painful spasm. Sorry for hope. Sorry for the poor writer who was being dragged into a deep vortex of darkness. What could he even do against that darkness? He failed. Maybe he had the skill to get the answers required, but they were already too deep. That depth, the water just turned pitch black, and there were things in the blackness that Ethan didn't know the names of. He didn't want to know. He took a deep breath as he was actually about to dive. Then he deleted the email. Immortal through his work was the achievement there. The letter with the title Untitled disappeared into the dark vortex. The frantic, desperate pleas for help were erased, leaving no trace if they never existed. No, it's not like that. Hope once told him, it was bad time for his Ethan to control this, the information on the internet doesn't really disappear after you click delete. More often than not, it remains somewhere on the servers, you just lose access to it. You turn to the mirror on the wall and pretend it's like your fancy. There's nothing wrong with the reflection. In this case, the silent scream didn't vanish, it's now trapped. Trapped where no one could hear it. I'm so sorry. Ethan covered his face with his hands. The mirror on the wall of Ethan's dark bathroom reflecting a closed door. Ethan and Hope got an official divorce 3 months later. They never talked about everything that happened. What did actually happen? Over the time, the horrors experienced get erased from memory, fade, weaken, and such is the defense of the human psyche. Dad loves you and never stood silent at the head of your bed, clutching a pillow in his hands for some reason. When you were 8, Uncle Jeremy didn't take you from behind a bar and didn't show you anything or make you do anything. Or make you show anything, sorry. And grandmother old wig does not and never had long spider legs. Even Psyche notably suffered, but it still played it was playing by the rules still. He wanted simple, coherent explanations, and he knew where to get them. Dr. Laura Stein was an island of clarity and sanity, and the horrors, as Ethan discovered, faded from memory. Is much better if you break them down into philic symbols. Ethan wished he'd started therapy sooner. Who knows, most of the nightmare could have been avoided. Police never figured out what happened, or even the clumsy versions suited Ethan much better than what he remembered. Or what he allegedly remembered. Weeks after week, Ethan felt like he was gradually recovering. Of course, he had to give up on his career as an independent consultant in favour of a more predictable office job, but at least have money for proper therapy. And at some point, a small incident happened. Dr. Stein introduced an electronic registration system. And as it goes with electronic registration systems, something went wrong on the second or third week. And it turned out 3 people had an appointment at the same time slot: Mr. Quinns, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Merlees. The meeting felt awkward at first, but the tension faded surprisingly quickly. By mutual agreement, Mr. Quinns was first to go to Dr. Stein's office. Ethan and Hope were left along on the couch. They were both smiling, a little tense, but overall happy. Since they met like that, they decided to go out for a coffee and talk about various things they hadn't spoken in a long time. And then at some point they decided to hold hands. Next day, with hardly keeping their eyes open because they only managed to sleep for a total of 3 hours. And that was inevitable, as in relationships you always have to sacrifice something. Oh, so they Who was that? Hope leaned over the arm of the sofa and looked at Ethan curiously. He shrugged. Literacy agent, one of the few I haven't disgraced myself in front of yet. They were looking for someone, a boring guy, to be a historical consultant. The working schedule was something about a whole day with most of the night, 7 days a week. So what did you say? That I'm happily employed office worker and I heartily enjoy cooler water. Are you serious? Ethan, don't be silly. We both know this is your true calling. I understand this kind of work takes a lot of time, but you could quit the office job and... I could, but I don't want to. It's my turn to bring Mammoth to the cave. What about your calling? I know well enough how hard you work to make the startup of yours survive. So who will make a homeless cat Tinder if not you? Well, actually, there's quite a variety of animals in our database. You'll be surprised. Recently, someone's booked a mini pig. A mini pig? Like an actual pig, but portable. Yeah. Well, kind of. The mini part stands for just £100 instead of a good 600. People get crazy over the cute piglet photos and think this is it, but in reality, wait a minute. Don't try to change the subject. I didn't even think about it. Hope sighed, frowning. I don't want you to give up on your dream. Not giving up on anything. Anyway, I do understand that Miss Merlees won't marry an ordinary office clerk, but I have a plan. Oh, come on. A sofa cushion slapped against Ethan's cheek. Hope tried her best to look serious, but she was too pleased to pull it off. So she was burning with curiosity. What's the plan? I'm writing a book on mythology. Wow. So now you're a proper historically consultant, but a talented writer. Guess I'll start getting used to this thought. Ethan grinned. Something of that sort, yes. What's your future bestseller about? It seemed to Hope that for just a brief moment that Ethan's eyes became round, shiny pools of black nacre. The Catholic gods of ancient Greece. Hope and Nightmare. Oh, that's not a good one. Ending 4. Blue Light Hotel. Wait a minute. So I had ending 6 and ending 4. Where the hell's ending 5? Do you want to go back? Back to the past. God, I've got Samurai Jack in my head now. Something changed. Okay. We have another TV program. Happy Dreamland. And I'll give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you lose on earth will be loosened in heaven. So it's kind of a happy ending with a, oh crap, this could happen all over again as he goes mad. Okay, Hans and the Sand Show. What do you do when you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. What do you do when you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. What do you do when you feel lonely? Something bad happens if you ask me again. What do you do? Told you. The Hans and Sam Show. Oh, another Blue Light Hotel? We welcome your stay for a moderate price. Your soul. A light from a single source is split in half, slivered mirror. Or silvered mirror, maybe. The resulting beams are each reflected by a series of mirrors. We expect them to combine at some point. I'm not saying it's safe, all I'm saying is... Sorry. All I'm saying is we're observing the experiment. Fear not the... Happy Dreamland, fear not the devil, but the God, for he walks amongst us and his eyes are hungry. Well, theoretically, God has killed more people than the devil ever has. There are mirrors behind mirrors and doors behind doors. Some of them are not like the other. Okay, we had a hell of a lot of things there. And we have more. May 3rd. Mum is acting funny. Smells funny too. She says she loves me all the time, but I'm a little bit something when she's like that. Yeah, well... This is 2 of the 6 endings. I suggest you have a playthrough yourself. It's not a bad game. I definitely can't really figure out where the hell it's going. I am no manly badass hero for understanding the genre. But, the thing I do understand after all of this is I really need to get a drink. I think I've been playing this for a couple of hours straight speaking. And it wasn't bad. Some of the descriptions were all over the place, which got my own narration in a bit of a fuddle. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I don't mind doing a little bit more if people really want. But for now, I'm going to leave it. And I'll hopefully catch you in the next video.